guys, how are you doing? I hope the month of January was an amazing beginning of the year kind of month for you. I know it was for me. It's a lot of learning curves right at the outset, right? Now, so we're kind of edging away out of January and moving towards February. So guess what? It is the time to do the theme and intention video for the month of February. And no surprises, I suppose. The theme of the month for the month of February is romance. Why? Because, Valentine's Day. And I know some of us totally get into that whole, hearts and flowers and candy and teddy bear vibe. And I have nothing against it. It's just that I'm kind of, when it comes to these things, I'm a little bit, how do you say it? I'm kind of always on the crossroads. My sun sign is Capricorn, my moon and rising sign are Leo. So there's always that sort of tug of war going inside of me between the girl who wants all this and the girl who says something more stable and reliable and dependable is more fun. So anyhow, the point is today I'm going to explore more about these themes, because that is the theme of the month. I'm going to use my very lovely storytelling deck, the Japaridzi Tarot, because I love how the images of this deck really come alive when we're getting into the story. And of course, I love the very, very cute and lovely images of the Dreaming Way Lenormand. So I'm going to pair these up together for the first time. And so let's do the theme and intention video for the month of February 2018 and see what the cards have to say about romance. Okay, so I'm sure you've watched my previous theme and intention videos, and you may have realized that I kind of do a sort of a variation of a cross spread in those videos. And well, I was tempted, seriously, I was very, very tempted to do that spread again today. But then I realized that no, it's like I said, I have that constant sort of push and pull between rationality and between the head and the heart, between the very rational logical approach and between the hearts and flowers approach. And I really genuinely don't find anything wrong with either approach. I think a combination of them is a worthwhile approach when we're looking at romance, looking at what romance means to you in life and so on and so forth. So I was thinking that instead of that cross spread, I'm going to do a very different one this time with my tarot cards. I'm going to do what the head, heart, and spirit spread. So the idea is to ask the cards what romance is all about for me, and we're going to look at it from the head, heart, and the spirit perspective. And then I'm going to do something very, very different with my Lenormand cards. So I'm going to set them aside for a moment, and I'm going to just make my fan with my tarot cards, basically. Just give me a second. Okay, so what is romance all about for me? And I'm going to pull one card for the head, one card for the heart, come on, and one card for the spirit. Hang on, it's this one. Somehow. Okay. This is so hard with the stand in between. I must find a better way. Okay. I'm going to look at the shadow cards because, hey, that's my thing. We have the... Okay, so there's a court card. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, I did not realize. These are really big cards. Okay. So I don't know how I'm going to get them into the frame, but I will try. So now head, heart, and spirit. And I know that, if you look, like in terms of where these are placed in your body, then, it's actually should be heart, head, and spirit, right? So, okay, but let's go with that because that's how the spread is: head, heart, and spirit. But before we do that, let's look at the cards that came up from the bottom and top of the deck, which I like to call the sky cards. So they are talking about the overall atmosphere, and around which I'm actually pulling the spread out. And the first one here is the Nine of Tides, right? And I know we have all these traditional meanings. The Nine of Tides usually sort of comes up as the Nine of Cups. And if you look at this card upright, you see this little girl, and she's wishing upon a star. And it's a really cute sort of imagery there, and especially when we are looking at it from the context or within the context of romance, right? And what romance means to me. Reverse, this is telling me that sometimes, or well, most times, this has left me feeling, well, a little discontented. It's like wishes not being fulfilled. That's the environment when it came to romance. This is the environment, so this is not necessarily guidance or answers, but this is the surrounding environment under which I'm making or going to read this spread. So, and the question is what it means to me, what romance means to me. So let's figure it out. So up until now in my life, it's been like a wish I made that never got fulfilled. And then we have here the King of Wands or the King of Winds reversed, the Stranger of Gardens reversed, and the Drowned, which is the Hanged Man card, also reversed. Let's look at them upright so we get a clear picture. The King of Winds represents the master of logic and mind and intellect. The Stranger of Gardens is someone who is very practical and at the same time, a little bit more active and a little bit more prone to taking action. Okay, and here we have the Drowned or the Hanged Man. So this guy is totally diving right into his inner world to seek the answers, looking at things from a very different perspective. Now what happens when it's reversed? We have here the Logic or the Master of Logic, which, well, he's failed. The practical approach towards doing something has failed, and looking for things, the different perspective, well, that has also failed. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. So, and yeah, well, I'm not trying to make this to sound like some great tragedy, because it's kind of not. But there's a good reason why I'm single, and it's because all my attempts at romance so far have, well, failed. So so this is pretty much reflecting my girly dreams, my young dreams, when I really believed in those hearts and flowers, and I had expected that something like that, my knight in shining armor, will manifest. And all these, maybe these also represent the guys I dated or felt something for. The point is, it didn't work out. And that's pretty much the story up here in the environment, which is, I know that story. Okay, so let's look at the spread where I'm going to see what romance is all about for me. The head, the heart, and the spirit. So let's look at the heart first. And here we have the Empress reverse. Now the Empress, again, check this card out. Just for a moment, just give yourself into the beauty of the imagery here. The Empress is all about creativity. The Empress is all about passion. The Empress is all about bringing things into life. Look at her. She's manifesting all the things from within her. Now, reverse, it essentially says that, and especially in the context of the heart, right? For me, romance has, well, been a bit of a disappointment. Let's face it. And for me, romance is kind of something that I tried to manifest, I tried to create, I tried to bring to life, but somehow just never quite worked out. Okay, that's all right. Now let's look at the head part of it. And here we have the stranger of tides. See how interestingly you get the water card in the head, which is supposed to be very air area. So for me, analyzing emotions has become something of an interesting hobby. It's like, see how this guy has sort of collected shells or pebbles or bubbles kind of around him. It does seem that way, doesn't it? It's beautiful. For me, emotions, especially when I sit and analyze them, and especially when it has to do with romantic emotions, that's why they're so pretty. I tend to, well, overanalyze my feelings, overanalyze my emotions, and that's kind of what I try to sit down and figure it out in my head. What went wrong over here? That's me. So what's the spirit angle? And here we have the Ace of Gardens. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I think this is the most powerful and most positive card that shows up. For me, romance on that very, very spiritual angle talks about a blooming, talks about a flowering, talks about something actually tangibly manifesting into existence, into being, into reality. Romance for me, especially now, see how the pentacles or the earth energy manifests in the spirit realm here, because that's the spirit card. For me, romance is more something real, something tangible, something that takes a while to bloom and grow, but it is something so powerfully, tangibly manifested in existence. So if I have to put all of these three together, asking myself, because this is the theme of the month, what romance means to me. Although if looking at these the sky cards, although in my life so far I've been very, very disappointed with the romantic angles of things, the way it's kind of manifested. And in my heart, I'm maybe a little bit heartbroken because whatever I wanted to manifest didn't necessarily come to life the way I wanted it to be. And in my head, I try to analyze all my feelings, and while they look beautiful and amazing, it's a lot of analysis of something that just needs to be felt. But in the spirit angle, from that perspective, for me, romance is something a lot more real, a lot more tangible than something that I can analyze or manifest. It is actually here, right? In the spirit realm, the romance I want is already here. The spirit aspect of things, I would say, the kind of romance I'm looking for is already happening. It's already blossoming and blooming. And what I think is what they're talking about is the romance that I have with certain things in my life, like my tarot cards, or with myself, even for that matter. And so this is a very interesting sort of a spread that I'm going to really take my time and journal through the month and think about more deeply, because I have a feeling that this is going to talk to me a little bit more on a more deeper, more personal level as time goes by. So heart, and spirit, what does romance mean to me? You can also do a spread like that, and you can even select a deck that really, really evokes that storyteller, really brings out that storytelling in you, for you, and you can do the spread for yourself as well. And through the month of January, just totally journal about it. Maybe draw the picture or print the picture, put it in front of you or on your phone screen, and occasionally, over the month, it's going to reveal something to you. Okay, so now this part is done. Now it's time to bring the Lenormand cards out to play. I'm just going to put these aside for a bit. Time to bring the Lenormand cards out to play. And sorry about that. And now I'm going to ask my Lenormand cards to tell me about the intention to set this month, because while all of this was fantastic, I do want to manifest a certain interesting level of romance in my life. Well, who doesn't? And so I want the cards to show me what I should do, what intentions I should set, so that I can successfully manifest the kind of romance that I'm looking for in my life. Okay. Okay. All right. So I pulled a line of 5. Woo! The shadow card here is the snake. Now the snake, as you can see now, that's one of the reasons why I like this deck, is that while it does give a representation of what the snake is, it also kind of adds value there, because a snake can also be a curvy woman, or actually a very slender, sexy woman, which I'm not. Let's face it. So the snake card here, as the shadow card says, you've got to have, you got to embrace your curves. That's what I'm seeing here. Okay. So I know it's not the traditional meaning, big deal. But okay, so I'm trying to fit this in the frame. Sorry about that. Okay. So what next steps should I take so as to manifest the kind of romance I'm looking for in my life? We have bear, tree, bouquet, tower, and clouds. This is interesting. It ends with the clouds. Clouds is all about confusion. So or kind of keep it hidden, kind of cover it up, because this is more guidance. This is not a prediction. This is what I need to do. So clouds could say cover it all up or hide it well, right? Disguise it. So bear is all about strength. Bear is also being being strong, like bear, that way. And tree is all about growth or health. So strong health, a strong growth, right? Be strong and steady and firmly rooted. And bouquet can also talk about happiness, joy, but also about beauty. So you got to be strong and rooted and really, really find your inner beauty, right? And tower talks about the long run or the long haul, or a system or an organization. So be strong, be rooted within your within your inner beauty, and with go for it in for the long haul, in a structured and organized manner, but then disguise it well, or hide it well. So I think my idea of logging on to a dating site might actually work, because there's a systematic organizational approach to that. But then whatever's going on, whatever I'm doing on there, or whatever the results may be, the cards are saying don't talk about it much, just keep it hush hush. So embrace your inner beauty, be strong, be grounded, and go get onto that website, but don't talk much about what happens after that. The snake card here says embrace your curves. So all of that kind of tells me, okay, for actually manifesting romance in my life, I need to really, really embrace who and what I am and follow that systematic approach, but then be secretive and hush hush. See, the snake is also kind of very secretive and hush hush. So don't talk about it. Shh. So whatever shenanigans I might get down to on that dating site, you guys are not going to hear about it. All right. Done. Okay, so this was pretty interesting according to me, and oops, I'm going to take a nice picture so you guys can have a look at the whole spread, or maybe I'm going to try and zoom out my camera a little bit. Just hold on a second. So the theme of the month is romance and what romance means to you, and what you can do to manifest the kind of romance that you're looking for in your life. Um, Again, romance could mean different things for different people, because depending on what your situation is in your life right now in terms of your romantic uh, entanglements, your spread could totally be different, or you could very well just use this spread to see where you're at, what it really means to you, understand what romance is all about for you, and whether or not you are in a romance that is the right one for you. You can use either your tarot or your Lenormand cards to figure out what you need to do to make it manifest in your life. So there are various ways you can totally customize this sort of a spread or approach to kind of get to where to get to the information really that you're looking for. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. All right, that's how I know whether it made sense to you or not. Share, subscribe, put your thoughts in the comments, right? And I know a lot of it is going to be deeply personal, so if you want to share with me privately, you can totally email me and talk to me about it. Tell me what you think. Tell me if this spread made sense to you, if it was interesting enough for you. And there's a lot more interesting stuff coming up ahead in this month, and it's all got to do with romance. So sign up for my newsletter and subscribe to my channel, read my blog, and stay tuned. And as this month goes by, stay good, be good, and play with your cards. I will see you soon in my next video. Until then, bye bye.